This is the ITR. As you can see, it is a plastic tube that has two security pins attached to the top and bottom. Inside this tube there are two rubber bands holding the invisible thread spool in the center. It will act like a reel. You pull the thread out, and it can be easily retracted. Here are a few problems we found with the ITR. After pulling out about 4 feet of invisible thread, the rubber bands will twist tightly, creating tension on the invisible thread. To compensate for this issue, the invisible thread must be thicker and therefore more visible. Also, due to the tension created from this pulling, the spool touches the wall of the tube, creating friction. This causes the thread to become in danger of breaking. In addition, because of this inconsistent pulling, when you float an object, it will bounce, tilt, and appear to be hanging. With the mini units, the shorter the rubber bands, the shorter amount of thread that can be pulled out of the tube. This is the UFC. The UFC case is made to look like a beeper and is about the size of a deck of cards. We feel the UFC possesses a few downsides. The manual switch on top activates a large motor that requires a thicker, more visible thread. Because the thread is thicker and more visible, it is not suitable for close-up performances. Another issue with the design lies in the motor and the spool. Because there is no cover housing for the motor or the spool, the thread will often slip out and get caught in the shaft of the motor, thereby stopping it. This will cause the thread to break. This is the Spider Pen Pro. The technology is comprised of 3 patents. Patent number 1 is a miniature thread spool that includes up to 35 feet of the finest invisible thread. As you can see, there is an X slit on the base of the spool, allowing the thread to be locked into any position. Patent number 2 is a cover housing for the micro motor and the spool. This keeps the thread at the same level and prevents it from slipping under the spool. A cap with a slit fits into the housing and holds the thread in place. This cap is able to rotate in order to position the thread in any location you wish. The third patent is what we call Soul Technology, a way of activating the motor without a switch. This automated motor is powered by a small circuit board and a AAA battery. Once the thread is pulled, it activates the motor, and because of this, the pen is always ready when you are.